Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to this special meeting by York City Council on December the 30th. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Rivera,
Recording in
Here.
progress.
Washington,
Here.
Ritter Dixon,
Here.
Walker,
Here.
Nixon.
Here. We are here to consider the resolution to override the mayor's veto. Is there anyone from the public wish to discuss this prior to us introducing it?
It appears that
There are,
you see any hands raised?
Tell them that they need to raise their hands if they want to speak.
Is that a no?
We're waiting to see here.
You might need to tell them.
If you want to speak on this resolution,
there's nobody that raised.
raise your hand on your on the Zoom.
Okay, you got one. I'm going to go ahead and put them through.
Okay, we have one person. Please identify yourself.
So currently, Jay Kirk, he needs to unmute his microphone if he wants to speak.
Jay, you need to unmute your microphone.
Mr. Kirkland, that's Jeff Kirkland.
Jeff Kirkland,
Okay.
Yes.
465 West Market Street, York, Pennsylvania.
Thank you for being with us.
You're very welcome.
I think there's another one.
Yeah, there is.
Aaron Anderson.
Or there was.
Please go ahead, Mr. Kirkland.
Happy holidays to all you first off. Just wanted to briefly, I wrote a op-ed, a piece on Facebook the other day, just expressing my concerns about the roadblock in this process. And just to keep it brief, I'm just hoping that council and the mayor could see it in the best interest of the city to move forward with this budget as the mayor presented. I think that $6 million or whatever it is represents just a portion of the initial allotment. And I think the mayor did a decent job in gaining input, better than anybody else did, in gaining input on what this process should be, this process should look like. I think from what I'm reading, he also had several members of city council on this team to review these projects. I don't know why all these concerns were not expressed earlier, or maybe they were, and I don't know. But I'm just hoping that we can move in the best interest of the city, move forward with this portion of the budget, and then spend your time on a better process of finding out how we should spend the majority of the money that is yet to come. I think that would be much more worthwhile for the interests of the city and the interests of the citizens of the community who, although it wasn't an overwhelming number, they did come out and express their views in some of these meetings. I attended a few of them myself. And you know, and like I know, there's I hate to say, but there is a lot of apathy when it comes to citizen participation in many processes, not only city council, but other processes here in the community, including voting. We have an abysmal number of voters, eligible voters that come out to vote. So I think we need to take all that into consideration. Let's do our jobs. Let's move forward on this piece, and then let's develop a process, a cooperative process between council and the mayor to develop a plan and a strategy for how to spend the rest of this money. Just to keep it brief, that's about what I'm saying.
Well, thank you. Thank you, sir. Is there
You're welcome.
anyone else?
There is.
Yes, 1 second. Okay, phone number ending in 595.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, please identify yourself.
My name is Eric Kirkland, resident of the city. I just wanted to call in and weigh in on what's happening here in the city. And very quickly, I'm not, because we've been informed so much about this process that what it appears to me right now is the city of York has been allocated in total $34 million for ARPA funding. The first round of funding, the mayor decided to Well, the city received 17 million. Of that, he decided to jumpstart the process with 6 million, 18% of the first round of funds. So that's still leaving $11 million of round one on the table. And including that 11 million plus round two, the city of York still has 82% of ARPA funding in front of us. And I appreciate City Council the need to make sure that we have a unified process. My only hope is that instead of penalizing the people that did participate in the process, which accumulated up to that 6 million, which is only, like I said, 18% of the total, I would like to see the leadership group, both council and the administration, come together, put that plan that everyone knows need to be in place now for the remaining 11 million and for the upcoming 17 million. The city of York deserves leadership right now. And have this city shut down right now is really, it's just unacceptable. So I'm hoping and praying that $6 million, because if that happens, this issue is really not about ARPA funding. It's about the lack of leadership. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Do we have another hand raised?
Can we do Stephanie Seaton?
Stephanie?
Good morning.
you're- okay,
Yes,
I'm
can you
sorry.
hear
Okay.
me?
Yes.
Good morning. My name is Stephanie Seaton, resident of the city of York. I am calling in this morning just to beseech council not to override this veto. These funds that have been allocated in the 2022 proposed budget by the mayor for the city of York is of a benefit to the residents of the city of York for services that are greatly needed. And I'll just reiterate what's been said in terms of these funds. This has been a process. I participated in this process as a citizen. I took the survey. I listened to the Monday morning messages. I listened to the comments and things that were made, and I weighed in via the survey. I would not like to have that discounted as if it counts for nothing. We don't just throw out votes when a low number come out to vote. So I think those who, as it's been said, who do participate in the process, those who do engage, and we, I believe, are able to represent those who don't have a voice, those who may not come out, but those who will be greatly impacted. The person that's homeless isn't going to show up at a council meeting. They're not going to participate necessarily in a survey because their main concern is shelter. So they have to rely on those who have a voice for them. And they have to rely on those to be responsible who has a voice. And I just think it's time out for the petty politics of it that we see played out back and forth, and for administration and council to come together and do what's best for the citizens of York. I don't recall seeing any council people out taking polls. I might have missed that poll. I might have missed that survey, but there are ways to gather information. I know I talk to people, so I'm sure you guys talk to people, so I'm not sure where they are or what that information looks like, because I haven't seen what the other proposals were. But this isn't the only round of funding, but the needs that are there right now, and you guys have a chance to address that. I haven't really heard anything to justify why this won't go forward. The different disagreements that's going back and forth, everybody's not going to agree on everything, but I would encourage you guys to get together and try to resolve what can be resolved. But for right now, there's an immediacy to this. There's an immediacy to this, and this should not be caught up in lack of leadership. So I encourage you not to override this veto. It is in the best interest of the citizens of York. And when we look at long-term planning, and this can be a life changer and a game changer for generations and generations to come, it can be all of that. And it can start now. It doesn't have to start months down the road. It can be all of that. and it can start right now. And there's still funding to do additional planning and get additional input along the process. But that's already been done to begin the process. So we do have somewhere to begin at. And I would encourage you to begin with the right decision of not overriding the veto, but approving the
Ms. Seaton,
proposed
you have 20
2022
seconds to wrap up
budget.
your comments. I'm sorry, you have 20 seconds to wrap up your comments.
Thank you. On my concluding is I encourage you not to override the proposed 2022 budget as presented by the mayor that represents the citizens of the city of York. Thank you.
Thank you. And Cliff, is there anyone else?
Not at the moment. You might want to just reiterate that people need to press the raise hand button if they would like to speak.
I see there's something in the chat as well.
They have to raise their hand. I'm not reading chat.
You say there is someone or there isn't?
There's no other hands raised, Mr. President. No, that was submitted. Yeah, it was submitted. We could say it was submitted. There was also a comment submitted by Ryan Suppler that will become part of the comments.
Very good, thank you. No other hands raised.
Not at this time, Mr. President.
Very good, then we're going to close this public comment and proceed with the introduction of the resolution.
So introduced.
Resolution number 145, introduced by Sandy Walker. Whereas on December 27th, 2021, the mayor of the city of York vetoed bill number 60 of section 2021, the fiscal year 2022 city of York budget. And whereas section 413A of the third class city code regulates that council may override the mayor's veto by a vote of 2/3 of the members of council. And where city council desires to override the mayor's veto, now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of York that council hereby overrides the mayor's veto of bill number 60 of section 2021, and be it further that bill number 60 of 2021, the 2022 City of York budget is hereby approved as amended by resolution number 144 of section 2021.
Move to approve.
Second. Oh,
It's been moved and seconded. Council, is there any discussion on this item?
Yes. I would like to discuss a few things. I would like to address Councilwoman Walker, who I have the most respect and admiration for. Councilwoman has served her community for a very long time, and she has every right in the world to question anything she ever wants as an elected official, and she should never have to feel as though she's being disrespected. And so while I don't agree with the amendment, I do want to acknowledge Councilwoman Walker's work in the community, like I mentioned, as an elected official. And again, I reiterate, she should never feel as though she's ever being disrespected on council. I also want to mention that I did sit on the ARPA committee, and I want to give the mayor props because I feel like he put together a committee of very good leaders, and I think that they worked very hard to come up with the standards for how the money was given in the organizations they chose. And I was not at the last meeting where the organizations were chosen and where the amounts of money were being divvied out. I also want to thank Melanie Baldwin for her hard work on this committee. Those people the people on the committee worked very hard to ensure this was fair and honest, and I want to give the mayor his props on that. But on the other hand, I do want to let the mayor know that I didn't appreciate the Facebook post, the Monday morning meeting, the Monday morning messages, the whole public demonizing of council. I think that was a slippery slope. I think he knew that there was an opportunity that this could have been challenged, and I think that rather than going public and pitting the residents of York against council, that he should have engaged council. And 2 weeks ago to the day, we had an elected officials meeting where I told him as such. And here we are today, 2 days before the new year, and having to sit to override a veto that should not have happened, because we should have gotten together and we should have made this work. So those are my comments, and I just want to wish everybody a Happy New Year.
Thank you, Mr. Rivera. Anyone else on council wish to make a statement on this item?
Just for the community to know, this resolution is the amended budget. So everything in regards to ARPA is already taken out of this except for the money that was set aside for the HRC. So the veto doesn't include the majority of ARPA funding anyways. But as I've said in the past, I appreciate all of the public input. I look forward to continuing to work with the administration, if there is a willingness to do so, to make sure that we are making the best decisions with this funding for our community.
Thank you, Ms. Walker. Anyone else on council? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Rivera,
No.
Washington,
Yes.
Ritter Dixon,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Nixon,
Yes. And the veto is overridden. Now, before we adjourn, I'd like to make a few comments specific to the last 4 years and also specific to the recent veto. After 4 years, communication between the mayor and council has been at best strained and at worst non-existent. This is not due to council's disrespect or ignorance of the mayor or the administration, but rather the dictatorial attitude of the mayor. Friction has existed in the policies of this administration and council since the very, very beginning. An attempt was made at communication by creating an elected officials committee, which met once a month. It was too cumbersome, there were too many people, and it ended up being more of a monthly report from the different directors rather than high-level policy concerns and discussions. I hope that the new council, and the new council president at least, and the mayor have regular meetings. They don't have to be weekly, they don't have to be monthly, but they should be at least quarterly, so that open communications exist. And that's the way to get things done. Things get done when we have open discussion, compromise, and then move forward. Further, I hope council and the mayor work together over the next 2 years to allocate ARPA funds for the future stability of our city and its taxpayers. We should not rush short-sighted into spending these funds. We have several years to allocate the monies and spend it. Unfortunately, the urge for immediate temporary solutions was greater than the patient, long view for the future. Thank you, everyone, and this meeting is adjourned.